Hello, everyone. What's going on? My name is Timpedia. I'm back to the TNT podcast. We're all here, and we're ready to do
episode
it.
164.
Is that really the number?
Physically,
That is,
mentally, probably fucking not.
Yeah, it's been a week. You know, I feel like it's already Thursday for my work week, and like
It's been a very long week. So long that it's been like what 5 weeks since our listeners have heard us talk.
It has been a hot minute since the last episode. I when Tyler didn't get on immediately, like right away, I was like, oh god, are we gonna go a full fiver? But no, we're
hell yeah,
we're good.
Fiverr.
No, but
We are not sponsored by them, but you know,
we're not sponsored.
But if you want to give us $5, feel free.
But on my right,
It's Friedman, also known as Andrew, but mostly known as Friedman.
and on my left,
Special Agent Big T Anime
Leon S.
expert.
Kennedy, because
Leon S. Kennedy.
Tyler has played so much Resident Evil, he has absorbed the essence of Leon Kennedy.
You could say he's our Resident Evil.
God, it's
here.
so dumb how those jokes are.
Podcast canceled.
You know,
I
Tyler,
love it so bad.
you
I
have
love
to
it
know
so
that those
much. They're
jokes
so
are
bad.
never gonna go away.
Never.
Well,
Like-
it's actually funny that people
Okay.
make these jokes now, implying that the Resident Evil community haven't been making these jokes for years.
Oh,
they're
no, but
hilarious
it's only
because
gonna
they've
get
been
worse.
dead jokes for like
Like it's gonna keep
now it's
going.
Ironically
True.
funny again.
Speaking of Resident Evil and video games,
What?
did you guys know? I know. Did you guys know that the Valve Corporation that makes the Steam platform that we all use actually sometimes makes video games? I did not
You're
know
old.
this because I'm younger than the age of 15.
Counter-Strike 2.
Yeah, so Valve, this was gonna be hot news if we had been able to hit the original podcast record date, but like Valve just out of nowhere one day during on a Tuesday or something was like, we're just gonna start putting out little videos showing the technology going into Counter-Strike 2, and everyone's like, what? What? What did you just say? So yeah, Counter-Strike 2.
This trend of companies
Wow.
pushing engine updates like it's a sequel is something else.
To be
We
fair,
had
with
Overwatch,
Counter-Strike,
too.
it kind of is.
So,
Yes.
Freeman, are you getting back into it, bro?
I never left.
Global elite?
Yeah, maybe I will. I am. My competitive days are behind me, but yes, I am going to play this. It is just more Counter Strike. If you this is the same idea of like if you move to Go from Counter Strike Source, it's the same idea. It's just the same game but more refined.
So does this cost
Probably
money?
better looking. No.
Sick.
It's like Overwatch 2, where if you own the first one, you own the second. It's just
you know
the
what's
same
funny?
game.
I keep thinking that Counter-Strike Go is free because I've had it for so long.
I'm trying to. It had to have been free for a while.
I think it was at least one time like, hey, buy it, or like during a Steam sale it's like $5, or it's like, hey, we're having a flash thing where it's free.
Yeah, I remember they'd come with some new anti-cheat solution for how many new players were able to just buy a bunch of accounts at that point in time.
Wait, speaking of Steam, I'm on Steam right now, and I did not realize apparently Mass Effect Legendary Edition is $18. Shit.
That's
You
all
know
three of the
that-
games.
That Amazon and EA both offered it for free like 6 months ago, right?
Yeah, I don't care.
What the fuck? What do you mean you don't care?
I didn't
In
get
fact,
it.
I think I even told you.
I didn't get it then.
Are you gonna get it now?
I kind of am willing to throw $18 at Mass Effect.
Let me tell you how worth it is.
You played it. I remember you playing it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
All
It's
right, I'm
mega
buying it
worth
right now, live on camera.
Especially with the mod. You need the mods, Tim.
You can
It
mod
makes
on
one
Steam.
so much more fucking bearable. You can skip the mini games, my guy.
All right,
Yeah,
we all
I know,
live
we've
purchasing
talked
this
about
game on
this.
stream.
We talked about that. I'm just buying it because I need to have this, because someday I will play through all of Legendary Edition.
You mean
anyway,
tomorrow?
so I just bought it. No, I can't do it tomorrow, but
You're
I
not
did
gonna
just buy it.
You're not gonna buy Final Fantasy Origins Stranger of Paradise?
I love
New
how the
Steam.
price on that game fucking tanked.
They didn't even try to release it at full price.
No.
They didn't even try. So yeah, no. Back to Counter-Strike 2. Yeah, Valve is making Counter-Strike 2. Clearly they're threatened by Valorant and need to come out with their updated shooter. And like Freeman said, it's just an engine update. But hey, Valve acknowledging that video games exist as more than a commodity is pretty crazy.
It's also sort of unfortunate. That means that the Counter-Strike series is effectively canceled now. They put the 2 on this one, unless they want to start going back to like global operations offensive, like call it Counter-Strike GU or some shit. But like the problem is we can't get Counter-Strike 3 because of this company. So it means the franchise is effectively dead after this release. So it's very unfortunate. In case anyone can't feel the sarcasm coming through the microphone, this might actually be the first franchise where 3 releases. So it'll just naturally come with version.
But they don't have the number 3 on it, so it doesn't matter.
No.
You know what does have the number 3 on it, Friedman?
Something that I can't find on the internet, but want to talk about anyway.
Yeah, Tyler, you missed Friedman. You missed Friedman going on a hilarious adventure and getting mad at YouTubers.
Yes, I'll swap the order. We'll just say we're talking about Persona right now, but there's 2 bits of news. I'll do the newest one first. So there was some type of leak from, I guess it was some type of CD that had new Sega releases that are coming out, and one of them looks like a remake of Jet Set Radio, and the second one looks like
Jet
footage.
Set Radio.
I know more people are actually excited for Jet Set Radio than this, but it looks like a remake of Persona 3, which would be real ridiculous given how long they baited the release of Persona 3 Portable for like a whole year, getting excited about, hey, you can finally play Persona 3 ever you want. And it's like, ha, surprise, gotcha, $60. Give us the new remake of it.
God.
Which I would love, because like when I tell people about the Persona franchise, 3 has, like, even as great as 5 is, as great as this game I've played twice through and have debated a third playthrough, 3 has the best atmosphere and story of the Persona franchise, but it has by far like the worst gameplay elements. So if they can just update the gameplay elements to what's going on in 5, but keep the story, characters, everything else the same, this is going to be a great Persona game, and I'm going to be very excited to finally replay 3 again for the 3rd time.
Yo, can you tell me
3 squared, baby.
I know this is such a random thing-ish, but it has everything to do with these Atlas games. Fucking, I don't understand. What's the difference between Shin Megami Tensei and Persona? I thought they were the same thing, honestly.
I'm glad you asked. They kind of are the same thing. No, so Shin Megami Tensei is the mainline franchise. It always deals with like you and there's demons and you're either fighting with them or against them, and it's the same demons in every game. So it's literally the same like characters. And then they released one that was called Shin Megami Tensei Persona, and that one's for PSP. So it originally carried the main franchise name with it, and that went on until Persona 4 was the last one where they called it Shin Megami Tensei Persona 4. And then starting with Persona 5, they're like, fuck it, we've gotten so separate from the mainline franchise, it's almost bigger than it now. Just call it Persona. Shin Megami Tensei can stay its own thing. So they share like a same mythos. It's like think Fabula Nova Crystallis in Final Fantasy, but it took off and became bigger than Final Fantasy.
I see. See, that's it. That's all I need to know.
Yeah.
All right, we're good.
Anyway, Persona fans are so starved for content after a year of like hyping up announcements for limited time T-shirts you can only buy in Japan. We're starved for anything. When all of a sudden, out of left field, China comes out and announces this Persona mobile game that looks like it's Persona 5, and in the description it says it's a canon sequel to Persona 5, starring a new protagonist. And then we get a glimpse of the gameplay, and it's strange that it looks like just straight up Persona 5 on a mobile device, but it is a gacha game, and it looks like it's Chinese only at the moment. They've already shown off like SSR pulls of palette swaps of the main cast of Persona 5. None of this shit actually makes sense if you look at the timeline. Everyone should be way older than they are in the gacha, but it is what it is. This game is going to suck. Maybe I'll try it free to play when it comes to the US, but it's looking like it's not even going to come to the US. This is like purely a Chinese cash grab, and it really depends on how it does there if they bring it even outside of China. So maybe being a canon sequel, I don't know about that. That's for Persona news. Hopefully we get some better news soon, and not just. Oh wait, sorry, I didn't even get to the fun part of the story. So Tyler, let's get this. So the big thing of the leak is that there are pictures and there is a video. I saw the video get posted to Reddit, but I couldn't watch it because I was in a meeting. So I go back to look at it for the podcast. Video's deleted. I go to the guy's Twitter. Twitter's deleted. I look at every article on the internet. None of them actually linked to this video. They just linked to the tweet that was deleted. I don't think there's actual evidence of this shit existing on the internet at the moment. I can't find it.
Wow.
So I'm like,
it was so funny. Freeman's like, are all the YouTubers just uploading their reaction to the footage and not the footage? And I'm like, yeah, because they don't want to get hit by copyright. And he's like, there must be somewhere. I gotta find it. Oh my god, the guy's Twitter is gone.
I feel like I'm being gaslit. Everyone's
Whoa.
talking about this thing that doesn't exist.
That's huh.
We're still in April. Anything could be a fool at this point, which sort of ties into the next story, but in a roundabout way.
Please talk about the
Yeah, might as well
successful
stop.
PlayStation console called the Vita.
So just for context, as a Steam Deck owner, I used to be very involved in the handheld emulation community with like what new things are coming out, what console are we up to, what can be emulated, and I was really big on following these different handheld devices. And it seems like very recently, all the big players like, hey, yo, let me get in there. Razer comes out with their streaming device, which is just a cell phone with a controller attached to it. You have Logitech coming with their G Cloud streaming device, which everyone criticized. It's like almost as expensive as a Switch, but it can only really run like cloud streaming games. And then you have on April Fool's Day, I think it was Asus announces their handheld Windows console, which is looking a lot better than the Steam Deck. The big thing is they haven't revealed the price. This thing's probably over 1K and make it everyone understand why it's so much better than the Steam Deck currently. But we're in this weird war of high-end handheld devices and then handheld streaming devices. And Sony comes in and they're just like, we don't want to make another handheld, but we noticed this weird market of gamers who own a gaming PC but want to sit and play on their couch anyway for some reason. And not even looking at the TV, looking at a handheld. How do we capture that market? So I don't know if they officially announced it or just got leaked, but there's some type of PlayStation handheld in the works that seems like it's meant to just be stream your PS5 to this device. So it's just, we're back to what the Wii U was trying to do. And it seems like it doesn't have the capability to game on board. It's purely a streaming device. I don't know how the PlayStation online gaming service works. I'm not sure if it's like Xbox Live where they have cloud streaming. I'm assuming they do, because then this would be able to take advantage of it. But Sony's doing their own officially branded streaming device.
Oh. Yeah, PlayStation Now, and it was not great when it first came out.
I remember I didn't follow too much news. I remember being like Game Pass, where just you have access to a library. I wasn't sure if it was you could stream it too.
Yeah, PlayStation Now. So PlayStation Plus, because they're like, yo, we gotta compete with Xbox, right? They do have that. So like with a specific version of PlayStation Plus, you can download and play a bunch of games. But there's also PlayStation Now, which is different, and you can stream games that way.
Gotcha. Anyway, Sony wants more of that money. Everyone wants to stream everyone else's stuff. It's a weird place to be right now. And since it's not an Android device, you can't just put any emulator you want on it. So I would probably argue that the PlayStation NOT Vita is going to be your worst option in this market.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on to the next one.
Speaking of consoles that are gone,
but not forgotten.
So I just thought I threw this in a couple weeks ago just because I figured this is really cool, especially in light of the Steam Deck. The Dolphin emulator, which I'm pretty sure is the most famous GameCube emulator there is, right?
Pretty sure it's also the most famous Wii emulator.
Yeah, it's.
Oh, it does multiple.
Nintendo.
Okay, I forgot. They are officially coming to Steam, which seems insane.
It's kind of odd to do. So I guess it's more just like Dolphin emulator is freeware. Anyone can download it anywhere they want. It's absolutely free, and it's going to be free on Steam. But it just means that it's one less barrier to people discovering it, I guess. It's kind of like when RetroArch got added to Steam.
Yeah, no, it's just really cool. But it's wild to think that like this is officially a thing that you can get on Steam, and you can be like, "Yep, I own an emulator now. What games can you play?" You can't. Oh, really? Well, you gotta buy it. You gotta acquire the ROMs for this game to work.
I would argue that one of Valve's biggest games, Gary's Mod, was the same way. There was no game included. You had to go find games to play with it.
It is in early access right now with a planned release of the next 3 months. But it's totally on here. Dolphin is an... Oh, yeah, this is fun. The description's hilarious. Dolphin is an emulator for the Big N's 6th and 7th generation consoles, featuring enhancements such as increased resolution, save states, and net play.
Oh
I just think this is crazy because if this...
play?
Yeah, because if this... It says it has co-op online, so could you imagine using Steam... Like, imagine living in a world...
Melee matchmaking?
Where legitimately, you couldn't take... a GameCube on the internet. Not really. And now you could emulate a GameCube through Steam to play online games with your friends.
You mean I could play Kirby's Air Ride City Trial with anyone on the internet at any time? That's the only thing I've been asking for since like 2006.
I don't know. I think that's a pretty wild world, especially if like, another thing that is annoying about emulators is trying to get controllers to work. Imagine if they just set it up to recognize your whatever controller Steam recognizes, so you don't have to do all that. This could be how I finally play Rogue Squadron after all these years.
Damn, I mean, like...
we just have to pull together to get you a deck so you can emulate this thing.
I mean, you do have a computer, also.
I know. Tyler, I could get Dolphin emulator right now, but...
Yeah, so...
But maybe they finally made Rogue Squadron work thanks to having Steam money, even though it's free.
When was the last time you tried emulating it?
Oh, like 5 years ago.
Okay, so there's a good chance it might actually work.
Maybe more like 3. More like 3.
All right. I didn't want to get your hopes up if it was recent, but there's a good chance it probably works now.
But yeah, I just think it's really cool. It's wild to see these strange things you would never think come to Steam. Also, all the screenshots on their store page are of like homebrew shitty software or like game dev things because they can't show any games.
They can't show real games.
Like
yeah.
they can't say the word Nintendo anywhere is really funny. So but yeah, so that's coming to Steam. Friedman, speaking of things we wish would exist but never will.
Oh yeah, let's talk about Gundam real quick. So I wasn't sure where to put this because it's not Weeb shit, because I'm not talking about anime, but it's also not in the watch/played. So I'm just gonna talk about Gunpla progress here. Just why not? Fuck it. So Witch from Mercury comes, I think it's out now. We got to start watching season 2 again, but I like rushed to finish the Ariel in time. So it's done. It looks really cool. I got to send you guys some pictures of it. But I immediately jumped into the next Gundam I wanted to do. Are either of you familiar with what super deformed Gundam looks like?
No. Do I want to know?
If I said Chibi Gundam, would it give you an idea of what I'm talking about?
Is it one of the one? You're not talking about the Build Fighters show.
No, I'm not talking about Build Fighters. So if you search for SD Gundam on like Google Images,
God, I don't want to talk about those.
So they're usually these really shitty chibi figures, and they're usually like poor, like very low quality models. But this year for their master grade, they're like, what if we took a master grade, it's like the 1/100 size kit, like Tyler, the tall geese you built, think that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Built like take the amount of like what do I want to say here? The complicated building pattern of a master grade, but shrink it down to the size of a super deformed. So it's only slightly taller than a high grade, and just sell that. And I'm going through it now, and it's the single most like detailed kit I built at this tiny scale. Because it's like, it's doing all the same kind of weird engineering they do for joints at the big 1/100 scale, but it's like below, was the 1/160th or something. Point is, it's an engineering masterpiece. I am loving every second of putting this thing together.
Nice.
I can't wait to send you guys some pictures of it. But it also looks ridiculous because the head is like 5 times as large as any other Gundam I've built. Anyway,
Nice.
Done gushing about Gundam. Let's talk about something else.
Tyler, speaking of Resident Evil 4, did you watch the...
I sent it, didn't I?
No, yeah, I'm pretty sure you did. But Tyler, it's a part of the...
What?
Did you happen to catch the animated Resident Evil 4 YouTube videos?
I mean, yes, I did. I have caught them. They have also caught my attention.
Yo, Tyler, stop using the AI bot for the podcast. We need
It's
you to
really
be serious.
difficult.
The code is leaking. We're showing that this is an AI-generated President's podcast.
Hold on. Just to derail before Tyler actually talks to the Resident Evil 4 shorts.
Oh my...
Someone like recreated Trash Taste, but with the president's AI, and they're just writing their own scripts every week for this fake anime podcast.
Oh yeah, I've seen it on YouTube. I did not
listened
watch
to the first episodes. I can't believe this shit is actually happening. That we have fake president podcasts. Anyway, Resident Evil shorts on YouTube.
Like it. Yeah, what about the Resident Evil shorts on YouTube?
Tell us about them. Did you like them?
Talk about them.
Want more?
No, damn, I didn't think this was newsworthy, but they're pretty cool. So what these are for the audience listening, Capcom came out with these shorts. Honestly, I forgot who did them. but it was some kind of
Probably Mappa. They're doing everything right now.
they're doing
It
everything.
could be.
Freeman being real.
Yeah.
It really could be.
But as promotional material leading up to the game, they released a bunch of these Resident Evil 4 shorts, and they're all pretty adorable and kind of funny. I recommend watching them. They're like less than 30 seconds long or like a minute. I don't know, but they're all funny. It's basically just imagine a very low grade. Is it like what's the art style? Maybe like Miyazaki if it was like discount.
Yep.
Like discount Miyazaki, but it's funny though. Like it's Leon goes into a village like, "Hello, can you help me find Ashley?" And they're like, "Bah," and it's supposed to be like this cute thing. And then he gets bonked on the head and he's dead.
Oh my god,
Instead
that's
of
adorable.
blood, it's just like stars and rainbows, which is a complete and utter contrast to the actual game.
Hell yeah.
Because the game is Big Depresso, and y'all know me and how much I love Big Depresso. So my Depresso espresso.
So that real quick, in terms of animation, it was done by a very old studio who a lot of their works just straight up look like Miyazaki.
Yeah, like it's that very if any like for the listeners, if you've seen any anime back in the 80s, like
early
that
80s here.
yeah, like
we're talking.
early 80s, that's what this looks like. And I think that was the whole point. It's supposed to be like a charming kind of thing, but it was funny. They released like 3 or 4 of them leading up to the release date. Man, I'm not talking about that game. Not for a long time, but can't wait to talk about that game.
You didn't talk about it last time. It had come out in the in-between, right?
No, because actually it came out on the day, or when did it come out? Release. I thought it came out it came out the 24th. Did we do a podcast then?
No, we were supposed to.
Yeah.
We were supposed to do this episode 2 weeks ago, so this would have been the one we talked about.
We didn't talk about it at all.
So without saying your opinions on it, I'm just curious, how many times have you beaten it so far?
Only once. Only once.
Damn, those are rookie numbers.
Tell me about it. That's what happens when you got fucking shit to do. Like the stars aligned,
but like in the wrong way.
In the wrong way for me to not play this game as much as I wanted to. But I can get to that later, with my opinion and all that. But we could talk about not E3 and a bunch of upcoming games,
Damn,
which is I do think is funny because like we are talking about like all these upcoming things.
Yep.
And it's like, damn, like E3 really is fucking dead.
You know where we're never gonna hear about them again? E3 Electronic Entertainment Expo.
I literally said, what the? Oh my god. I seamlessly transitioned into the E3.
Yeah.
We're just going to talk about E3.
Yeah.
And you just got to.
No, I'm hammering the point home because it's true. It's gone. It's dead and gone.
Yeah, I was pretty upset that I couldn't go. Like, it was always my dream when I was a kid. And I went to school and the students were able to go, and except for the year I would have been able to go, they since too many people went, we couldn't go anymore. Like our school.
Damn. I'll never forget hearing stories of people like waiting 5 hours in line to play a 5-minute demo of Mario.
Yeah.
Crazy. I don't get it.
I mean, that's how it kind of was at when New York, I almost said New York Auto Show, because New York Auto Show is going on right now.
It's in the same building as what you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah, because it's literally also in the same building. Like Comic-Con, when that was fun, and they had a bunch of demos, it did take me like an hour or two just to play Dead Space 2. I remember that. It was still neat, but yeah, I don't know.
Well, we should clarify. The official announcement from E3 was we will not be hosting the show this year. We are closing down as an organization.
I thought they said there were no plans for it next year, though.
I think they might have, but they only that's all I'm saying is that they officially canceled this year. and they soft canceled the rest. But everyone knows that there's no chance it's going to come back.
Unless, hear me out, they do an engine update and they call it E4 and just
Damn.
relaunch it.
Oh my god.
Well, that's the thing. Like, honestly, I kind of blame Nintendo for this.
It's 100% their fault.
They started the trend of directs.
I'll just live stream from my living room, said Masahiro Sakurai, and
Yeah,
and so did the rest of the industry.
If you think about it, it's probably for the best. Like, people get to have the spotlight to themselves. They don't have to, like, really align themselves with a particular console, so to speak, or like a company.
So I think
they could just be like,
like, it used to be the video games were so niche that, like, you needed E3, the one moment where everyone's looking at the games industry for anyone to see your news. And we've gotten way past the point of even needing something like that, because people who want video game news are already looking at all times.
Well, you know what it also is? It also made a lot more sense back in the days of like print journalism, where you need all the journalists to go to one location to get all the latest info to spread it out for everybody. But now it's like you alluded to, Tyler, you just do a live stream. Everyone will watch Sony's live stream, and then everyone on Twitter, every hashtag, every IGN or whatever other blogger, YouTuber, or whatever will do some kind of thing about it, and it's like the news gets out there instantaneously.
Yeah, like reacting to game footage that doesn't exist.
No, Freeman, they reacted so fast. They reacted to the game footage before it was taken down. That's how fast they reacted.
I was so slow to this. I'm so slow. Anyway, E3.
Damn.
The one thing I'm upset about, though, is with everyone doing their own directs, they can avoid overlapping all the news happening at the same time. But, like, I'm not going to lie. Like, E3 week was something I looked forward... Like, I've never looked forward to reading the news so much as a kid as I did during E3 week, where it's like, what wild shit is going to happen? We got... Like, I'll never forget, I think it was E3 2009. Like, hearing that Kojima was going to be at the Microsoft booth, I'm like, what the fuck is happening in the game industry right now? Fortunately, it was just Metal Gear Acid. But either way, hearing like stuff like this and just being excited for a whole week about just video games in general is something that we're not going to have anymore, unfortunately.
That's I guess
the Game Awards is like it.
Yeah, but even then, like that's the closest we have to a rolling a single shot thing. But we don't have like the rolling like, ooh, we're in video game time, where like everybody acknowledges that, like, video games, like, hey, look, news is coming out about video games, guys. This is cool, right?
Yeah.
Every day had some cool new thing, and then it's like, nope. Now it's just Nintendo's going to have a direct in 36 minutes. If by the way, everybody get ready for something, or
like
Sony's...
for example, we were looking for news, and I'm like, oh shit, Sony announced they're doing a Final Fantasy 16 gameplay demo in 2 days.
Yeah. So
always stuff happening.
Speaking of announcements, though, and platforms to announce things, so a little event called Star Wars Celebration happened recently, where everyone got up on stage, whole bunch of announcements, whole bunch of stuff came out. We're gonna blow through a couple of the things that happened. Honestly, the thing that's most frustrating for me is there were really no new game announcements. They showed off Jedi Survivor a bunch. I'm sure that game's going to be great. I don't know when I'll get to play it. But, I mean, like, how are there still no video games? I don't get it.
Where the hell is Empire at War 2? I've been waiting for this game.
Not even kidding. I would...
Wait, you just want more games?
Tyler, I've talked about this for years. I've talked about it for years.
Rogue Squadron 4.
Not even that. I've talked for years about the golden age of Star Wars games was when there was like 3 or 4 Star Wars games a year, and they were all interesting and had good ideas and were fun. They weren't all great by a lot. There's a bunch that are meh. Even the good ones have bad parts. But like when I know I've pulled it up before. I think I tweeted years ago. The chart of Star Wars game releases during like the 2000s, and then the Star Wars game releases in like the 2010s, and it's like 20 versus 3 or something like that. I know it's in here somewhere. I bet if I scroll back enough, it's not like I tweet all that much these days either.
I've got 3 words for you: pod racing in 4K. That's all we want.
Pod racing.
That would be really cool.
Pod racing.
Now this
I just want them. I just need a sequel to the Wipeout franchise that isn't bad. can totally be Star Wars.
Where the hell?
Oh, no,
I'm
they
giving it
probably
a few
don't-
seconds to try to find this tweet that I think
I
I
don't know.
did
They're
years
probably not
ago.
seeing as much of a return on the video games.
No,
Probably
but
not making
I
any
just
money.
like what. So that transitions into. There's been a lot of shows. Oh, here it is. Here it is. In January 17th, 2019, 2002 to 2008 had the launch of 18 video games. And then from 2013 to 2019, there were 2, Battlefront and Battlefront 2. And since then, we've had Jedi Survivor, Jedi Fallen Order, the Knights of the Republic remake got canceled. Like, is there anything that's come out? Anything? This graphic still feels just as true as ever.
I wonder if it's still just too expensive to license and no one wants to touch it.
All I know is when they're making this many shows, I don't understand why we can't have some video games. Like, I just don't get it. But anyway, Jedi Survivor, yeah, Cal's back. And I saw it made me laugh. Cal Kestis is fighting for his life, and I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. Like, marketing has no originality anymore. But the one movie thing, because Star Wars movies have been such a faux pas recently, they confirmed that Daisy Ridley, I think, is returning as Rey Scalpatine.
The fuck did you just say?
Rey Scalpatine.
Exactly
Skywalker
what he
Palpatine.
said.
Rey Scalpatine. I just came up with that on the spot, too. That's really bad. Pie Walker.
Can we get this now? Thank
She is coming back to, in 15 years after Episode 9, running or a Jedi Master in a new Jedi Order, and I'm like, and the amount of memes about, well, is she gonna start drinking milk out of some creature too? I just like, I swear to fucking God, if there's a new Empire again, then it's GG no re on Star Wars movies. What I had read, I could be wrong, was that it was a guaranteed one movie with the potential for a trilogy. But I then also saw other places that it was just a trilogy. I'm not sure. But like, man, Star Wars movies have just not been it, Chief. They also announced a lot of shows or showed stuff for new shows. The Ahsoka show got a trailer. Didn't even watch it. Freeman, you said Visions 2 comes next month. That I'm actually interested in.
Star Wars Day.
I'll be honest, I did not like Visions 1.
So we were talking about it briefly before the podcast. I'm treating. I don't think Visions 2 is even being treated as an anime in my anime list. I'm not obligated to watch the whole thing. I'm just gonna figure out which ones are good and watch those.
Well, I will be the one in our group who watches all of them probably just to find out which one's good. So
all right, you'll be the screener.
I'll be the screener.
Also, I will say for Ahsoka, because we've been watching Rebels too.
Yeah.
Or Michelle has been making me watch Rebels, but it's not that bad.
Sound more upset about it.
No, I'm not upset about it. It went from she's making me to I'm like, all right, this feels kind of good. I don't know if I would recommend it to you though, if that makes sense.
No, that's fair.
I feel like you'd be bored with it. It is like a
No, I know. I remember when it was coming out, everyone's like, this is the kids show. Look at the dumb, skinny lightsabers. And I admit that it looks weird, but then I know that Obi-Wan kills Maul for the final time in that show, and Ahsoka fights Darth Vader in that show and all that shit. So
yeah, that fight was pretty sick. That fight was pretty fucking dope.
But they also announced. Oh, keep going. Sorry.
I'll say there are hella references to Rebels. Actually,
yeah.
In this past episode,
of Mando.
Not this past one that we watched last week, but the one before that.
Yeah.
There's a character from Rebels that makes a cameo.
Yep. Is it even a cameo? It's so in your face.
I mean, like, he didn't play a big part.
No, he didn't.
Were you
but
talking
like
about the one, not Rebellion, it's New Republic.
The purple alien pilot guy.
Yeah, I didn't know. Everyone in Reddit was like flipping. I'm like, what the fuck are they
as soon
talking
as you
about?
see, I remember seeing. I've never watched Rebels. I saw posters of Rebels, and I was like, oh, it's that guy from Rebels. But there's also Bad Batch season 3, More Tales of the Jedi stuff. That kids series is coming. There's going to be a second season of Andor. There's more books on the High Republic. Supposedly games are coming someday.
You're gonna be all right, Tim.
I just don't care about like any of this, man.
I mean, yeah, it's starting to become like Marvel, where it's very oversaturated.
It's too much with the shows, and I gotta be honest. I don't want to. We're not gonna. I'd rather talk about it now because we're in the middle of the season. I don't want to judge Mando yet, but I want to raise a concern that I know I said to you at least, Tyler, when we were talking about Mando.
Yeah.
All of these references and all of this other stuff, and like the way they're doing this season of Mando. The galaxy feels so small.
Yeah,
like
the galaxy's only 3 planets.
It's like, man, when it's like every other scene is like, oh, it's that character. Oh, this person's connected to this thing. Oh my god, you can't believe it.
Again.
Like you know what's funny to think about? So part of this, they also showed off a poster for Return of the Jedi's 40th anniversary is this year, and they showed off a rad poster for Return of the Jedi. Opal actually said I should fly out to California so we could go to it together. That would have been cool. But like, think about the characters in Return of the Jedi, like Lando's co-pilot, Nien Nunb. Like
the dude with the weird face.
Yeah, the Sullustan. You don't need him to appear in 20 fucking TV shows.
It'd be really cool if he was in the background of that one shot, though. Let's put him there.
That's fine, but it's like...
Let's be real. Do you need any of this? Do you actually need
yes,
any of
obviously
all of
need is a strong word. You're not wrong, Tyler, but like... I know I texted you, Tyler, so Freeman, you're also up to date on The Mandalorian?
I'm not. I didn't see last week's episode.
That's fine. You watched the Raiders one, right? The pirate one?
Yeah.
You just talked about it, where the purple guy shows up.
Yeah.
That episode was so frustrating to me because on one hand, everything with them dogfighting was awesome. I love any second the N1 is on screen doing dogfighting. I don't care if Din is somehow magically this super pilot. I fucking love seeing the N1 racer.
The Naboo fighter.
It's my fucking problem.
I love seeing
I know
that
we're
thing
at
fly
ends
around.
on it, but like you did.
No, but
You're the reason why I'm upset.
but that's fine. But then, like, what? 30 people in the entire city of Navarro, that on the planet of Navarro, go hide a football field away for some amount of time while some Republic guy goes to another system, goes to Coruscant, comes back, goes and finds the other Mandos, summons them there, and where's the stakes? Where's the size? And of course, the woman who's like secretly still working for Moff Gideon, probably, or whatever. Oh, that's not spoilers. I don't know.
Secretly.
But like, do you get what I mean? Like, every character on screen is like a new character that we know is going to get run into the ground, or a reference to something else, and they show up and do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Like, it's so frustrating to me. Like, the fact that, like, oh, the pirate guy showed up and it's like, ooh, who's this cool new threat dead?
I'm starting to think, and I'm getting concerned about this. We're not the target audience for Star Wars.
That can't be true, though.
That's the thing I'm concerned about, though.
It's not kids. What, are kids going to like this?
It's not kids either.
Who is it?
Who saw Star Wars in 1976?
Freeman, this cannot be.
Saw Star Wars in 1976?
Boomers are not watching all of this content. They're not.
When I hear my parents talk about this show, I start to realize I think this show might be catered to them.
But did they watch Andor? Are they going to watch Andor season 2? Did they watch all the animated shows? No, they watched The Mandalorian. Did they watch Andor?
No, they haven't yet. They're still behind. They haven't watched Book of Boba Fett, which I told them they keep.
Well, that's what.
They keep running. They got to watch that before Mando.
But that's what I'm saying, Freeman. They liked Mando. Mando was great when it started, but I feel like the success of Mandalorian has ripped open the floodgates of let's just do fuck tons of TV shows because that's working for us instead of movies, and Dave Filoni basically kept this shit afloat with Clone Wars and Rebels and stuff underneath. So he's going to be the new guy of Star Wars. But like all of this stuff, it's just too much with these shows. And all of them have to be so interconnected.
The shareholders demand growth.
I don't care that Andor is good. I wish we had never seen a character from Andor show up, from the Rogue One movie show up anywhere ever again, and just let that movie be an amazing standalone thing. I'm not saying Andor taints Rogue One, but the fact that we're now probably going to get Andor episodes all the way up till Rogue One starts is disappointing to me.
So ironically enough, this solves the problem that I had with Rogue One, where I felt like I didn't have any attachment to the characters because I already knew what was going to happen to them. But now it's almost the opposite. Now I have a reason to be invested in the main character.
But it's too much.
More to the story.
It's too much. And look at Marvel. Tyler brought up Marvel. We have characters that have been around since fucking day zero. Do you feel better because you're more attached to them? No, everyone's falling off of Marvel.
Well, I mean, I'd argue I'm falling off of Marvel because it's not the there's a lot of new characters and they're not the original 5 I gave a shit about.
Sure, but like
you can't convince me to give a shit about Ant-Man.
But so what you're saying then is the only solution is to keep these characters going forever.
I mean, it works for James Bond, doesn't it?
Now we're getting into that. Now we're getting into.
You can have a franchise centered on a character people like. You don't need to keep adding more. Like we shit on Bleach for this. They just keep adding more characters, and it's a problem with that show. But you're not here for the new villain. You're here because Ichigo's the main character, right? But
Bleach isn't going to make 20 spin-offs about other Bleach characters where the other characters show up all the time.
Fine, we'll use Naruto as an example because it does actually.
Naruto fucking sucks and it's ending.
Okay, Boruto sucks and it's ending. Naruto finished decently okay. Anyway.
I know we're getting off topic. This feels like the Marvel problem of we're doing too much and trying to be too cute and clever with our cinematic TV universe. Like again, those Star Wars games that I was talking about when we had this age of lots of different options for games, the whole idea there was none of them were the same. There was a shooter, there was a racer, there was this, there was that. They weren't all the same thing.
I know the general sentiment with our group is that Marvel's on the decline due to overexposure, but have they talked about the numbers of Marvel? Are they not actually growing?
You know what? I thought it was in the show notes a month ago. I don't know if it was. Marvel, I think there was either a leak or an internal document that came out or something that basically said Marvel is scaling back on its content releases from like 3 movies a year and 4 shows a year to 2 shows and 2 to 3 movies. So they're scaling back everything.
Gotcha.
I forget if that was something we covered, but like the other part of it is like it's cool to have someone like Kevin Feige did something amazing with Marvel to pull it all together. 100% props to him. But now we're getting to the point where they're like, "Ooh, we've figured out what works, so we're just going to keep doing it." And even the stuff that is experimental is so connected to everything else that you feel like we're trying to get you. It feels obvious. It feels like pandering at this point. Like
sort of has been.
No, I get that, but like, and you could totally make a case that hey, these other Star Wars games from this screenshot I'm still looking at, like yes, they were interconnected. They were so many different things, but like. Someone who played Star Wars Jedi Starfighter, they might not want to play an RTS, so they don't play Empire at War. KOTOR fans don't have to play everything else. Force Unleashed people don't necessarily play Pod Racer. That's fine, but like you didn't have to, because the flip side of there's these characters from Rebels in there. Well, I'm not going to watch Rebels, so if they're going to be important characters in Ahsoka, I'll watch Ahsoka and not know who they are, and that's okay. or just not watch Ahsoka because it's going to hit me over the head with it.
But I will say they did do that though with Mandalorian, where it's like you had to watch Boba Fett in order to understand what's happening this season.
And that was the worst part of Boba Fett, was while
Right.
the best scenes were about Mando, it was the biggest screw up of that show was to take it away from your own character and make a sub show in it.
You say that, but it got a lot of people who didn't want to watch Book of Boba Fett to watch it because they wanted to watch Mando season 3.
But that's a trick you can only play a couple times.
What if you played it every time? What if
That's
every show
terrible.
had a tie into every other show, so that if you wanted to avoid social media FOMO of not watching the current big hit show, you got to watch the other shows, and that requires you to be subscribed to Disney Plus for an extended period of time to watch all the random shows.
I think we're seriously heading towards an inflection point where people are getting tired of these cinematic universes and are looking for things. Imagine if there was a sequel to Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I mean, I straight up gave up on Marvel after Endgame. I don't think I've watched a single Marvel movie since then.
I can't. I've watched a couple, but like I don't care. I'm there. It's not in the show notes. The trailer for the Marvels came out today. I didn't watch it.
Wait, it's literally just called The Marvels.
It's about like Captain Marvel and the woman from the WandaVision show and someone else. I don't even remember.
All right, I'm so disconnected from this.
Anyway, we can move on. This has been almost 20 minutes of talking about this spinning off of Star Wars Celebration. But I don't know.
Anyways,
I just want to get some of this off my chest. But you know where...
Speaking of spending 20 minutes talking about something, it's time for the Weeb shit. Back with the soundboard. I didn't check if there was actual real news that came out in the last 3 weeks, but we're already bloated enough with shit from Anime Japan 3 weeks ago. So I'm just going to talk about this stuff.
Rapid fire.
And damn, I really should have checked the actual news instead of this. Anyway, first and foremost, Anime Japan was 3 weeks ago, and I remember driving home. I forget whose house I was driving home from. It was like 1 or 2 a.m. It was pretty late.
Probably my house.
I don't. It may have been no.
No, I don't remember you being here that late ever. Recently.
No, I wasn't. Oh, wait, this wasn't the night after. Either way, I came back super late. I'm driving home. All the HUD elements in my car I set to low when it's really late at night like this. And all of a sudden, my phone just blasts open with this notification, blows my car. And I look down, and I have the My Anime app installed. And every time there's a new entry in a show that I've already like watched or completed, it'll send me a notification when something gets added to the database for it. And I look down and I see new entry added to database. RE4 Kara ... And I'm sitting there like, it better not be some chibi high school isekai spin-off crossover nonsense little short episode. Like, please, love of God, give me season 3. But I'm also doing like 75 on 287, and I'm just like, I'm not gonna check yet. I'll do it when I get to that first red light. So
when I get to the
first red light, I pop up on my phone, I see the visual. RE4 season 3 confirmed, no date, but it's happening. I can't believe we're finally here. For context, it would take them like 9 seasons to complete to where RE4 is in the books, and we're just getting season 3 now. This shit is infuriating waiting this long, but it's happening. And that was like
you're welcome, says Isekai Quartet.
Yeah, single-handedly reminding everyone this show exists. But that was one of the first announcements for Anime Japan weekend. There were a ton of random trailers and release dates thrown around. I'm just gonna go through them pretty quickly. We got Jujutsu Kaisen 2 trailer. We knew loosely was coming out in 2023. We hadn't seen or heard anything of it. They're confirming July, so next season will be airing.
Didn't actually watch the trailer, but I mean,
there's a lot of Gojo backstory stuff in this arc.
Ooh.
So it's a Gojo heavy trailer.
Oh, we're getting ready for him to be killed.
Pretty boy.
Pretty boy.
Boy content. All the bitches are gonna.
That's true. This is the fangirl
season.
Season.
Thirsting over this trailer. Anyway, next one. So half the podcast are Initial D fans. So I saw the trailer for this one. The studio Troika, who I think they did Licorice Recoil. I'm not sure. They are known for taking on anime original projects, which can usually be hit or miss because it means they don't have a pre-established good story to work with. But they are doing a Formula One anime, and I watched the trailer for it, and the whole time watching, I'm like, how bad is the CG going to be? Because if it's cars in Japan, it's definitely going to be CG. And the CG is kind of whatever. But if we can get another hype racing anime, because for context, it's been like 8 years since the last season of Initial D, and I'm not going to lie, the last 2 seasons of Initial D weren't that great. But I've been jonesing for a good racing anime, and Yao Pedal isn't really doing that anymore. So Formula One could be cool. My brother might like it because he follows actual Formula One, and he's always looking for stupid shit. But that's happening.
I have 2 former coworkers who love Formula One, and I still send them memes that I see on Reddit that I'm like, I don't understand this, but that's funny.
If there ends up being a really hype scene from the anime, maybe it might be worth sending them a clip being like, "Hey yo, there's a Formula One anime."
Yep.
But only if the clips are actually worth showing people. Then we got Horimiya news, and I was not expecting this one because the anime, for lack of better words, wasn't very good. It rushed the adaptation. So like with Horimiya, the whole gimmick is a romance anime where the main cast gets together like pretty quickly and they have a normal relationship for the whole series. And then the second half is just, okay, well, the rest of the cast has to go about their adventures because you already wrapped up the romance of the first 2 characters. But when the anime came out, they didn't want to do all these side stories, so they only had 12 episodes to work with. So they just kind of skipped all of these like big important side stories that are like very important to most of the characters. Everyone was very mad. They announced a new anime filled entirely with just the side stories that they skipped. So that's happening. I'm probably skipping this one. I already got the main plot of this. The side stories of the show were not that good, but manga fans enjoy it. Next one up, Demon Slayer, Goblin Slayer. We had gotten an announcement early last year saying it was coming out in 2023, and it's been radio silent since then. They did come out with a new trailer. Which was mostly just old footage. They reconfirmed it is in 2023, but they did announce that it's moving to a new studio. So that was probably the cause. Either way, confirmed that it is still airing this year, and the studio's locked into it, so it's happening. To no one's surprise, Hero Academia is getting a season 7.
Pretty sure this was confirmed at the end of the last season.
It was, but the end of the last season happened at Anime Japan, and they had a stand for it there the day after it aired. So
gotcha.
I'm loving it. Either way, Konostando. Hold on, dude. Shit, I didn't have a proper JoJo thing queued up, so unfortunately, it's the wrong part of the song. There we go. All right, so yeah, Konostando power. Anyway, moving on. Black Clover.
Black Clover.
Good lord, this is nostalgic. I was watching this shit at the beginning of pandemic. This was like the shonen you watched because there was no other shonen airing, and it eventually turned into a legitimately good show. We've known for a while there's going to be a semi-canon movie that's going to link us up to the next
movie that's
coming out at some point.
What a terrible phrase. What a terrible day to have eyes.
It's better than purely filler. But the point is, Netflix had previously delayed it. I think this was coming out like February, March this year. They confirmed that June 16th worldwide release of this movie. So it sounds like it's actually happening time. I can enjoy some Black Clover content because holy shit, the fight scenes in that show are pretty good. Moving on, we got two franchises doing the exact same announcement, one slightly different. Spy Family, big hit of last year, comedy winner of the Crunchyroll Anime Awards, as we double checked the other day for some reason. They announced season 2.
We were talking about Uncle.
Yes, we were thinking what actually could have won.
The show that should have won if it had all come out last year.
For real, it's killing me. But yeah, Kaguya is getting season 2 in a movie. I think season 2 is coming first, and that's going to be in the fall, if I remember correctly. And then Blue Lock is doing the opposite. They confirmed a season 2 in a movie, but the movie is canon. It's going to come out first, and then season 2 will come out after.
We already knew that.
For Blue Lock?
Oh, sorry. I thought you said Spy Family. I thought you were still
No,
Spy Family.
I'm saying they're both similar, but they have flip-flop orders of what stuff is releasing. And I don't even know what the deal is with the canonness of Spy Family, just because of the nature of the show. There's not too much plot going on. Whereas with Blue Lock, it's how do I put it? Like they can't do a side story with the way they've structured this shit. It's got to be a one shot to the finale. But speaking of not one shots to the finale, Java's Reincarnation season 2. We got a trailer. We got a July confirmation date. Best
Can't
girl.
believe I got into this show.
Is reappearing. Elf Girl's gonna play a big
can't
role.
believe you got into this show.
I made it past the awful opening and made it to the actually good show.
Awful opening.
You know it. No. The beginning, not the OP. I'm not
I was going to say, Java's Reincarnation is famous for having an opening with it doesn't have any words, and it always shows the passage of time in the opening to like really set the stage of where they are right when the scene starts. So I was being like, what the hell are you shitting on this opening for? But no. I mean, I personally like the opening arc. You just gotta deal with the fact that Rudy's a perv.
You know exactly what I mean. It's not the arc.
You just gotta deal with Rudy being a perv. The whole point is that he's not a good character. Don't imitate him. It's grape juice all over again.
I'm amazed there's not a warning on it. Weebs, please do not attempt to replicate what Rudy is doing. He is not a role model right now.
He's not a role model. He's a cautionary tale of how not to get isekai'd. Anyway,
Guys, this is what you'd really look like if you got isekai'd. Please recognize you need help.
yeah, you think you're gonna look like Cosmo. Turns out you're gonna look like exactly
Turns out
like
you're all
Cosmo.
Rudies.
And then the last thing we got, Bunny Girl Senpai. So I was convinced we were not going to get any more adaptations because the last movie...
It's over because it makes sense.
Except, all right, listeners, we're just going to spoil the end of the last Bunny Girl Senpai movie because what they pull is absolute horseshit. So basically, the timeline's fucked, and someone's like, all right, I'm going to go back in time to fix all this, but like, even if I try my best to like do things exactly the same and make the two of us fall in love together, like it's not guaranteed to happen. And she's like, just do it. So he just goes back in time, and then it just cuts ahead to present day in the new timeline where he just fucking winged it, and everything is back to exactly the way it needs to be. So they've just like Deus Ex Machina in an alternate timeline where all the conflicts have been resolved, but they've all been resolved in the exact same way, but nothing went wrong. And that's where it's going to pick up from. In this bizarre ass, it's the same timeline, but no one's sad. And they're just playing it off like the last movie was just some weird tangent plot line, and it's bullshit. Either way, Kaede is getting another story arc, and this time they're doing it as a movie. Will it be good? Will it be bad? Will we be able to see it within a year of it coming out in Japan? I don't know, because Aniplex is really annoying with the Bunny Girl franchise.
It'll be ass.
Anyway, that is it for the Weeb shit.
Wow.
I don't know. I wish Bunny Girl was just over.
Damn.
It was really good while we had it, and then even at the end of the last movie, it was like, okay, we're done with this. This is really good. We solved everything.
I am interested, because they haven't solved everything.
Oh, man. Well, speaking of solving everything, we can solve all the mysteries of what we played and watched this week. The last month. Including... including something we all did together. It is very rare that not just the boys, but in fact all 6 of our D&D crew go out to the movies together. But speaking of D&D, we actually all made the pilgrimage to go watch Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves together.
Yeah, and it was pretty good.
I overrated this movie on purpose, but I gave it a 4.
Why'd you overrate it on purpose?
Because
So it's sending a message.
It kind of, yes. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 on Letterboxd. That's probably it's not probably, that's too high. But frankly, considering, everyone likes to say that, like Last of Us is good. There's like Super Mario Brothers movie seems to be pretty kind of whatever. Actually, a lot of the reviews seem to be saying is kind of eh.
I feel like it's going to be about the same as like the Sonic movie was.
That is
no.
what
I feel like a lot of the reviews are saying it's even more of a cash grab than the Sonic movies was. At least the Sonic movies tried. Some of the reviews are saying like the Mario movie just kind of exists to make money. But either way, I don't know. I feel like they could have done the laziest cash grab, especially. So we've talked plenty on the podcast about how Hasbro. We didn't even talk about like March of the Machines and all that for Magic, but like we've talked about how Hasbro is literally wringing every single dollar out of D&D and Magic physically possible, right?
Yeah.
I could have seen such a world where this could have been so lazy, such a lazy cash grab. And a lot of the humor hit with me and was funny, and a lot of the references are cool. They're not super in your face. You don't need to know D&D to watch this movie at all. I think they did a good job. This is the kind of thing. So Val and I were talking about this in the car after. This is the kind of thing where they could make a sequel movie to this. And you could easily do a sequel, which is a new party with different characters in different classes, and they maybe bump into some of these characters as like a mentor role. And it would feel totally natural in the setting of D&D.
Yes. I think this is a great springboard to the D&D cinematic universe.
No.
No.
That is absolutely what I don't want.
We need multiple shows that all interlink the characters that you can't miss any of this as you buy your D&D 1.
Freeman, here's the thing. Hasbro is too incompetent to get that far. But they did manage to produce a very entertaining movie that I would honestly I told my mom to go watch this movie because it's a fun time. Like, everything what's his name? Ray, the guy from Bridgerton, who's the paladin.
Oh yeah, that guy.
You could have. I feel like it could have been so easy to make a stuffy character like that kind of insufferable in the way that you hate him.
In a typical paladin fashion.
Yes, but this is the good version of the typical paladin. That's the best way I can put this. This is like what you imagine a paladin is, but it's funny. But it's actually not just he's like, I must be good-hearted at all times. He's not a dick. Like
he's got charisma is what you're saying.
Like,
He's got Riz.
Anytime you could have written 50 ways for that final scene where he's walking away straight to end. And the fact that with Chris Pine's narration and him stepping over the rock, I laughed out loud at that fucking part. That was so funny. And they could have done that so dumb.
So I'm gonna chime in here because I ended up seeing it later in the week with my other group.
Yes, you were the only one who's seen it twice.
They're all normies. They've only played like one or two nights of D&D where I was DMing, so their exposure to D&D is pretty low. They all thoroughly enjoyed this movie. It was one of those where if you get the references, you get it, but if you don't, it's not lost on you. Like,
yeah,
it was honestly perfect. Anyone can go see this movie and enjoy it. Now that said, there was one bit when I saw it the first time that bothered me that made me even more annoyed the second time I saw it. It's the only bit I didn't like about the movie, and if I could edit anything, I would edit this 3 seconds out of the film. So, listeners, I'm going to spoil the end of the movie.
Uh-oh.
So right at the end, they're fighting the Red Witch.
Yeah.
And then she does the time stop spell again.
Yeah.
And then they all fake being frozen. The daughter puts the magic suppression wristband on her. And then they all break out of their fake frozen. And then Chris Pine looks the villain dead in the eye and just explains the last 6 seconds of the movie to you. Like, no explanation needed. It's super fucking obvious what happened. You faked it now, and then it's like we need to fake you so you let your guard down so we could slip the ring on your hand. And he says this, and then Dork does the smash. And that one gloating line, I think has no business being in this movie.
So Friedman,
and should just be edited out.
I get where you're coming from, and I don't think it would be a worse movie for editing it out. Here's the one thing. He's a bard. And
he's not a bard.
Yes, he is. What?
No, he's not.
Yeah. What do you mean he's not?
Why do you think he's a bard? Because he plays an instrument?
He tells stories, he plays an instrument, and he literally gets by just with charisma half the time.
He literally is the bard.
Yeah, I don't know
what did you think he was?
Yeah, where this is coming from.
What class do you think he was?
Based on the armor he wears when he's with the Harpers, at first I thought he was a fighter and he's just running undercover. So the question is he really a rogue? Because he doesn't actually do anything that makes you a bard.
He literally strolls in.
If you got rid of his instrument, what does he do that's bard-like?
What do you mean?
He's the leader. He literally charismas his way through
exactly
everything. Even his backstory, he's like, I literally pretended to be fucking poor people in the street to get information, and that's how he did it. They showed him in armor, I think, to
bards don't wear no armor. But he cross-classed as a rogue. Whatever.
But I'm saying there's nothing outside of just being a fun character and having an instrument.
Also sings.
I feel like
class doesn't sing.
Hold on, I feel like we uncovered something way more important than this whole thing about cutting those 3 lines out of this movie with Freeman not thinking he's a bard.
Not
big facts.
What if Freeman? If we surveyed every person you saw the movie with, I am pretty positive every single person would say he's the bard.
All right, what's his actual character's name?
No, you know why? Because the real rogue is in the movie. Their friend, what's his name? Oh my God, Hugh Grant. What's?
Oh, Hugh Grant. Yeah.
He is the rogue. That's what his character is. He's the what? Neutral evil rogue. Like that's him.
Yeah, big facts.
I'm kind of reeling still from the fact that Chris Pine has a scene where he walks in front of guards playing a lute and singing. And
Freeman's
not the bard.
Well, no, because that's also not him.
It is him. It's an illusion of him. Yeah, cast by another party member. Bards
Listen,
don't.
all I'm looking for is everyone is marked by the abilities that they perform in this movie, and there's nothing inherently that makes him a bard. He just
Barbarian,
literally
sorcerer,
said
druid,
what made him a
bard.
bard.
being able to sing does not exclusively make you a bard. I can be a fighter and sing in D&D.
Freeman, hold on. You're actually going a little too deep with this.
I'm asking, is he actually raw? R-A-W. Is he a bard?
Yes.
Yes. Actually,
and I'm saying there's nothing that makes him a bard.
What?
I'm saying
D&D.
there's nothing he does that only a bard can do.
You could say that about anything any class does. The sorcerer casts magic. You could have an argument that he's a sorcerer, not a wizard.
They were accurate to what magic he was able to cast. So much so.
What do you mean? He used magic that wasn't sorcerer all the time.
Like what?
Explain to me. His fucking bag that he threw shit out of. He cast spells. Yeah. Like what?
What are you talking? Wait.
What am I talking about?
You're talking about the windy circle thing that had the components he needed for the spells?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wizard shit.
Sorcerers don't need that.
Sorcerers don't need components to cast spells?
No.
We've never needed
That's why I like sorcerers. This is why. See?
Oh man, this is
this is what happens. This is what happens
trying to get into some shit.
This is what happens when I skip the components on all my spells in D&D because it's too lame. Oh man.
Oh, this is
all right.
I'm gonna tell Val about this conversation.
I rescind my statements then. My only argument is that playing an instrument does not explicitly make you a bard. That's my only argument.
Okay. I would buy that if any other character ever played an instrument. You could make that case if it wasn't so in your face that he's the smooth talker, he's charismatic. Yes, the other guy plays them, but he is the rogue. He literally stabs them in the back. Chris Pine is the planner. He's charismatic. He plays the instrument. He has very minor magical talent or something.
So I'll bring up why this was even a conversation in the first place. What class is Holga?
Barbarian.
Yeah, barbarian.
Why do you feel that she's barbarian?
Because she has big axe and she wears light clothing. And she rages.
She wears like the half plate.
She is armored and does not use barbarian rage once in the movie.
She is not.
She's not a barbarian. She's a fighter.
That?
Oh my god, she's such a barbarian. It's not even funny.
She
does. What do you mean she doesn't rage?
She doesn't use barbarian rage.
What does she need to turn red and glow to be in barbarian rage?
I'd argue you have to even remotely look angry when you're fighting.
Okay, that's just Michelle Rodriguez just not looking like she's angry in her age.
all I'm saying, yes, these fit into character archetypes, but there's a lot of discussion about how they didn't. Never mind. I'm being pedantic here.
Hold on. Wait a minute. I want to check something. There might be an official easy answer to this. Show me the fucking picture zoomed in. Okay, Freeman. We literally have the answer to this because we have the secret layer cards, which, to be fair, 2 of them are wrong because there is no such...
Secret layer is not lore.
No. Look, the paladin. He's not listed as a paladin because paladins don't exist in magic, so he's a knight. Fine. Sorcerer. We do not have sorcerer, and they clearly are saying he's a sorcerer, not a wizard, so he's a shaman. Fine. Every other person is their class.
Which is also weird.
Forge.
He refers to his grandfather as a wizard.
Yes, that is weird. Forge is a rogue. Holga is a barbarian. Doric is a druid. And Edgin is a bard.
He's a bard. Yeah, I know. His official wiki entry lists him as a bard, but I'm saying that outside of playing the instrument, there's nothing inherently that makes him a bard.
Freeman, it's a 2-hour movie. Like, this is like what? Doric. Freeman, you could say Doric isn't necessarily. She's just casting illusion magic to look like an owlbear or something like that.
They call it what it is. They call it the actual spells that the actual class can cast. So for a character like that, I'm like, good, accurate.
Yes. Yeah, and know what? Druids can't shapeshift that fast.
You're right. They can't. They also can't wild shape into owlbear.
Yes.
But what other class could?
None.
My only look. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that Hulk is not a barbarian, but I'm just gonna tell you.
You just did.
I'm just gonna tell you that it's no. I'm not here saying she doesn't fit the description of a barbarian, but my argument here is if you get rid of the lute, which he also didn't have for a large part of his adventure. He had to come back to his house to get it because he left it behind when they went on their team party mission on that raid at the beginning of the story. What is he when he doesn't have his lute with him? What class does he fit into? Is he just a bard without any bard-like characteristics?
But now you're saying you have to play an instrument in every second to be the bard.
Without it, he's got nothing that makes him a bard. He's something else.
But what does it make him then? What if he's not a bard in those moments? What is he then?
I'd argue he's a fighter.
What? He never fights anything.
What?
He never. When does he go hand-to-hand combat with anything?
I mean, would you classify fighter as the generic I can hold a weapon class?
No.
No.
If you had a random townsperson and they're holding a sword, what do you assume they are without any other information?
An NPC or a warrior is the in 3.5 it was officially called warrior.
All right, so warrior then. What do you want? I was going to say, if you're gonna say not having a class is an option, then I'd say go with that because I'm just saying. Like playing an actual bard in D&D, you're playing your instrument seems like it's so little mechanically about the class, and they didn't translate anything else besides the instrument into this.
But you can't. But there's nothing else obvious to do about a bard. They already have in a movie like this where there's 4 main party members. They're not going to have him do magic because then there's 2 people who are already doing magical things. Holga is doing the giant axe obvious barbarian thing because she's wearing fur armor, which you would never picture a fighter doing, and the rogue is the bad guy.
Actually, yeah, if you look at the barbarian picture in the PHB, it's literally Olga.
That's what I was saying. That's what I was getting at. I can't think she's a fighter because she's wearing armor that is the barbarian stereotypical armor.
I don't know, man. I'm looking at pictures from the movie. It looks like metal armor.
No, metal is fine, but with the fur accents and everything.
Concerns here. None of the classes mean anything in the cinematic version, so I'm just being an annoyance.
No, Freeman. It's not trying to like beat you down. Like I feel like you're actually going deeper than they intend you to.
I just want something other than the fucking lute. Like you could tell me he's a knight and he just happens to play guitar in his free time, and you're like, this man is a bard. Like I'm looking for more than just the instrument.
You're not wrong, but there are some classes where it's just not easy to, like, how do you know what's his name? Zank. How do you know Zank is a paladin?
Well, they straight up tell
us. He has that super over the top scene where he gives a beggar money and the beggar says thank you and he goes, "No. Thank you." And like okay, now you know he's a paladin. Like everyone has that one scene. The wizard, the sorcerer can raise dead people. The druid turns into an owlbear. If she didn't turn into an owlbear, you could make the case that she's a ranger.
Yeah, but everyone else has their classes called it. They don't explicitly call him a bard, and this is why I'm so hung up on this because they've opened up the possibility that he's not.
I think it's just because they don't say Holga's a barbarian. I think it's the 2 main characters.
That's why I also made that argument that she could, in theory, not be a barbarian.
No, but I'm saying the 2 main characters, they didn't go to the point where they have to dumb it down and be like, "Hello, you the barbarian," kind of thing. Like they know, they go, "Hey, I know someone who is a druid. I know someone who is a the guy." They say, "I know Zank the paladin has this thing." Hold on, I gotta go for a sec. Val's calling, and that's usually
if she'd use the phrase like
Henry. So
I'm gonna rage on this guy. That'd be enough of a hint for me to say, she's talking about barbarian rage. That's all I'm saying.
Well, was it like even it's like, why would I say, like like I mean, you say like I'm raging like when you call that, right? But like you wouldn't actually like, I don't know.
It's enough of a hint that nails you to a specific class. I'm not saying he's not a bard. I'm just saying he might not be a bard.
No, you know what? Fine. We can agree to disagree on that.
I look. I'm not saying he's not a bard. It's more obvious than not that he is. They wouldn't.
We think it's very obvious.
It is very obvious. But the only argument I am making is if playing an instrument makes you a bard, anyone in the world can cross class.
I mean that's almost true.
That's my only That's my only complaint outside of explaining how they beat the villain.
Sorry, I'm back.
All right.
Are we still on this?
No, we're done. Let's go.
Okay. Wow, that was a heated, long discussion for 20 minutes.
We can delete that. It's, no one
delete
needs to
can delete that.
That
No,
was
that
a great
was gold.
discussion. Freeman, this is not about like. Look, it's about discussion. That's why it's a podcast, not a pod.
I do think that
monologue.
was
No, actually, I didn't expect
overall.
this to get as heated with this really joke conversation. He might
I
not be
think
hard.
I think it being heated shows how much we all care about this, and it's great.
Yeah, go watch this movie.
Speaking of go watch this movie, Tyler should get up and go watch John Wick Chapter 4.
Yeah, I've been trying to figure out a way to go. Like, we're trying to do a double date with
Yeah, you and
Leslie and Dave,
Yeah.
but I don't know if that's gonna happen at this rate.
I think this is certainly better than 3. I think there is one sequence in this movie that is one of the coolest sequences I've seen in an action movie or a shooter movie since Doom's first-person sequence in that shitty Rock Doom movie. I think a lot of the action is really good. I think at this point you just accept that Keanu Reeves can't die when he falls off of things.
Oh yeah.
But I think this movie has done something really important to the franchise, and that is give you an antagonist that you care about. Because
Alexander Skarsgård is good.
he is a bad guy. But also Donnie Yen being this like third player in the game. Donnie Yen's character is like the best character, one of the best is in the running for the best character they've introduced into this franchise.
If he wasn't, I'd be very concerned.
Tyler, do you know anything about Donnie Yen's character in this movie or no?
Not in the movie. I know plenty about Donnie Yen.
Do you want me to tell you one aspect of his character they establish immediately or no?
Sure. I
so-
don't care.
Donnie Yen is blind.
Oh, I had a feeling he was.
And let me
Not
tell you
surprised.
let me tell you something that's a plus for this movie. I could not buy that almost any other human being could still be a giga badass assassin other than Donnie Yen. I
feel like that's a given. It's Donnie Yen.
No,
my guy.
but like think about it. How many actors, how many action stars could actually pull off I am a badass who's relying on sound and reflexes and all this jazz so sharply and cleanly to be like, yes, I'm blind. And you actually buy it and you're like, I could see you still being a badass. It's over the top, sure. But like the way like if someone crinkles if someone steps on glass next to him, he just instantly like he doesn't turn his head, he just whips a gun out and just pow, 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 pow in the vague direction and still hits them multiple times because you know that he's just that good. And you buy it, and it's really good. Seeing someone other than John Wick do some really badass shit is great. And the way the story goes is good. Like I said, a lot of the action is really good. The bad guy is good. Yeah, overall, I just had a lot of fun with this movie. And I if you've enjoyed the other John Wicks, I'd certainly say, like in Tyler's case, kind of faltering after 3, I would say just come back and watch this one. I promise it's worth it.
Alright.
And I think there's also going to be a Donnie Yen spinoff based on his character from this, which would be awesome because his character is pretty badass, like I said. Anyway, I don't want to get into a movie talk, especially only one I saw. Freeman, video games.
Yeah, so I had a reasonable amount of time in the backseat of a car driving home from the ski trip I was on 2 weeks ago. So I brought along the Steam Deck and I said, let's just start a new game that's just pick up and play, no massive story, no 35-hour adventure, no Persona 5 replay.
Anything to not finish Witcher 3.
Look, the problem is I'm playing Witcher 3 on PlayStation, so I don't want to start it over again on Steam.
No, I know, I'm kidding.
But I started playing Slay the Spire. This game is a lot of fun. So I remember describing how I really liked the first part of Inscription before it started like changing the game on you midway through the game. And the first part of Inscription, I didn't realize it's just a straight rip of Slay the Spire. So this is the game I've been secretly looking for a while, but wasn't looking that hard for it. It is if anyone doesn't know, it's like a deck building roguelike. And it's eating my free time at the moment. It's very easy to just like pick up, play, and even if you're halfway through a run, just literally pause on the menu. Like this is the kind of game I've been asking for on Steam Deck, and now I have it. So I'm excited to keep playing this. I should probably stop playing this and go play other games I'm supposed to be playing though, and or start this new anime season, which I haven't started either. But that was the only video game I started. I do want to talk very briefly about a live action show I was watching, just because I know that Tyler knows this show is trash, and I want to talk about why it's trash. But the show You on Netflix.
Stop it.
So when they released season 4, they were like, well, we know everyone wants to binge, but like we like user retention. So they released the first 5 episodes, I think, in a batch, and they waited like a month or 2 and released the second 5 episodes in a batch. And I really liked the premise for this season. Unlike the previous ones where like the main character is going around killing people and trying to get caught, the premise of this season is it's a murder mystery, and he's trying to figure out who's been murdering the people around him. And it was very interesting. I overestimated the intelligence of the writing. There was one character right from the get-go where I'm like, oh, well, it's definitely not this guy. It'd be too fucking obvious that they made him the killer. And then obviously at the midpoint of the season, they just fucking reveal that the super obvious one was the killer the whole time. And I'm just like, are you kidding me? Like, you have like 12 interesting characters, 6 of which haven't gotten explored yet, and the first dude who is suspicious, you're just gonna make him the villain? Yeah. I'm like, you can't do this. This is some brain dead tier writing. So I am gonna watch Core 2, aka the last 5 episodes.
I am gonna watch Core 2.
But I'm very upset with how well they built up a mystery and then just flopped the reveal because it was a bad reveal entirely.
I mean,
this is why I don't watch live action shit.
This is why I don't watch Westaboo shit.
Well, I don't actually watch Weeaboo shit either, because the next thing I want to talk about is the show that I dropped from this season. And I'm starting to think more and more that me and Giga have the exact same anime watching personality, because he goes and releases a 30-minute video describing what I'm about to talk about here.
Hold on. I'm pretty sure it was only a 10-minute video.
Was it only 10 minutes? He didn't do a full length?
No, it was a short. He didn't have much to say other than fuck this show, this is trash, don't watch it. Yeah, it's 10 minutes, 26 seconds.
Okay, good. I scrolled past a different video of him that was 30 minutes recently. Anyway, point is, I thought this show was going to be some like fun, ecchi comedy and not just a really creepy porno. The plot is, this guy suddenly turns into a dog, and then the hot girl from his class just adopts him. And I was like, all right, so it's going to be a fun girl owning a dog, except there's going to be a lot of upskirt shots because the dog is short. Like, is that what we're going for here? I fucking wish that was all it was.
I wish that was all it was.
During episode 2, the main character, as a dog, notices that the girl's friend has like a bug or something on her back. So he keeps trying to get it off her back, but somehow winds up inside of her shirt, and then he accidentally disconnects the bra, and then he like gets kicked out of her shirt, and then she stubs her toe, so she goes and licks her toe so she feels better. And it's just like, it's so much fetishy shit. And then episode, it was either 2 or 3, ends with the main character getting mad the dog was giving her friend attention, so she kicks her friends out and puts on this cat costume. And at that point, I was like, I'm done. I closed it at the end of whatever episode this preview is happening. I said, I do not need this weird-ass dog fetish shit happening here. I'm not watching the show anymore. And I dropped it. And apparently, Giga, I don't know if he dropped it or he watched it through, but like, this show is just... I
don't remember, but I would rewatch it. This video was so funny, I would rewatch it with you after the podcast.
I mean, I still need to watch through, but this show is like... There are shows that you can be horny. High School DxD, great example of a good show that just has a lot of horny going on with it.
Big facts.
This is a show where it's purely horny, and it's the bad kind. It's the kind where you're asking if you're on a list for watching this. So I was going to say not my proudest drop, but I actually probably my proudest drop. This was shit. I'm glad I got out when I did.
At least it wasn't your proudest fap.
Tyler, I would almost want you to watch this video just to see your reaction to the absolutely gobsmackingly stupid shit in this show.
Yeah, knowing that the 75% of the show I didn't watch and it's only going to escalate from where I quit kind of has me a little concerned. Anyway, let's talk about a show that we all watched. And by all watched, I mean I haven't seen the last 4 episodes of it, but I'm going to be caught up by this Friday.
Tyler, I don't remember. Did you catch up on My Hero or not yet?
I guess not. Wait, what did it end again?
Like a month ago.
Oh yeah, I'm caught up. That's right.
Yeah.
We did
Freeman's
talk about
funny enough. Freeman's
Yeah.
the only one who's not caught up.
Yeah, the last episode I saw was
Yeah.
we saw the muscle rematch real quick where Deku's just like, this is my new
Literally,
whatever
real
percent. Yeah, like, I was not expecting it to be like a throwaway fight. I was like,
Nah,
oh,
it
this
was
is gonna be
great.
Fight of the season, rematch of the century, Goku versus Frieza, part 4.
Yeah,
it ended up
except Frieza doesn't get gold, so Goku does just kill him instantly.
Yeah, it ended up just like
literally
Goku versus Frieza part 2, where he just gets slashed in half real quick and he's just thrown
Yes,
away.
Goku Trunks Frieza.
Yeah,
there
Trunks thrown up. Yeah.
you go. This season of My Hero completely reinvigorated my enjoyment of My Hero by a lot.
I ate in way too hard to the Dark Deku memes because I just saw all the artwork, and then I get to the first episode where air quotes Dark Deku is there, and the second he takes the mask off, it's just normal Deku underneath, and I'm just like, damn, I got cheated here. I was expecting the Edgelord arc, and now it's just like,
I mean, Friedman,
he
gonna
was pretty edgy. I don't know.
not gonna lie, he is pretty edgy.
It gets more so as this arc goes on, where he takes the mask off, and you just see like, yeah, it's Deku underneath, Deadeye Deku. Like, he is not okay under there.
There were a couple shots where he still had like the glimmer of hope in his eyes. I was like, no, this is
Freeman, those go away. That's not a
show me
spoiler. You're gonna see it. You're gonna see
the
it.
real Dark Deku.
You're gonna see it. I promise.
All right, I will ask for a spoiler. I know that there's an episode called, listeners, I apologize. Spoilers for the end of Hero Academia. There's an episode called Deku versus Class 1A.
Yep.
Does it happen during that bit, or is it not during that bit?
I mean, it's you can guess based on the fact that it's an anime that the prelude to that involves him showing his face and going, "No, I have to fight alone.
I can't go back to our Hero
I can't."
Academia.
Yes, basically, yes. I can't go back to the academia life. I have to live in the real world.
Good.
I was like, oh fucking please. I was like, whatever, bro.
You're
I will
16.
say that's like not the next episode for him, but that's 2 episodes away for you, and that episode's not bad actually. And then even though that's the end of the action, there's still pretty good stuff. So this season really turned it around after the giga stinker of Class 1A 1B, and as much as I make fun of him, Gentle Criminal was pretty lame. And then I know My Villain Academia was like good for story building, and it was cool to see people die in this show, but like even that wasn't really doing it. But this season, like, a lot of people are dying.
So I just want to say this because I keep forgetting episode counts because like we break it up by seasons, but if you look at the actual number we're on, Hero Academia is on episode 138.
Yeah, it's a lot.
If you look at where like Naruto was around the time that I guess season 5 was happening, that was when Naruto gave up and did fillers for 2 years. So
wow,
yes,
it's almost like working to a show that has content out is a good fucking idea.
Either way, it's weird that the around the episode 90 mark seems to be where shonens flounder in general. And
episode 90. That's
I'm dead serious here.
No, I know you are. It's just
for anyone who watched Bleach, that was like right around when they're coming out of the bounce arc, I think. Or no, they're still mid-bounce during this. Anyway, point is,
what a year where
yes.
My Hero and Bleach are both at the top of the shonen charts.
I mean, we're getting Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen next season. There's gonna be a lot of overlap with and Bleach too. Bleach is also next season.
Yeah, Bleach
There's
is
gonna be a
coming
lot of
back, too.
overlap with stuff. New and old.
There'll be a lot of good animation coming in the next few months.
It's gonna be spicy.
I still need to watch Bleach.
You need to watch Bleach.
Nah,
The whole
Yeah, I was gonna
battle
say,
season's
Tyler, the fact that
phenomenal.
I've finished the Blood War and you haven't is kind of a problem.
yo, it's been rough
No.
doing solo Tyler stuff.
Tyler, I get it. I'm just saying it's fun. Like, okay, also, you don't have to do it solo, Tyler. You know for a fact that
Yeah,
Val and
would
Freeman, probably Freeman, but at least Val would rewatch all of Blood War with you in 5 seconds.
Oh, I'd watch the
No,
whole thing
so
again. It
it's
was so well animated.
it's the when I hang out with Michelle, we like watch other shows.
No, I get it. I totally get what you're saying. I'm just saying that if you were like, oh, Michelle, sorry, gotta go hang out with other people, and then be like, okay, let's watch Bleach.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
This is not Tyler. Are these both yours?
What's it called? Wait.
We got a 40K topic, and we got a
I was like, where the hell are we?
another 4 topic.
Oh right, I scrolled all the way down thinking that yeah, Warhammer 40K. I started with that first. That's the only thing I could think of that I finished. I feel like I finished something else, but whatever. Um, so I think I told you guys that I have a an Audible subscription.
Yes.
Yeah.
So last month's book I got there's a fourth Eisenhorn book. Tim didn't realize that.
Oh, nice.
It's called Magus or Magos, whatever. However those British people say it. I don't fucking
Those
know.
British people.
Those British people. And it's a
Nervous.
fourth Eisenhorn book originally. So like I've talked about it in length some time ago about these Eisenhorn books. There's a fourth one that Dan Abnett wrote, but with this fourth book, he included a bunch of other side stories with said book. Because I looked at, it, I'm like, how the hell is this thing 20 hours long? Um, it's because he included a bunch of other
Oh.
side stories that with characters that are relevant to the actual story.
Wait, Holmes, how was it structured? Was it like a just interspersed side stories, or was it like there was a main story and then it was other chapters after that were?
There are interspersed side stories that had nothing to do with each other, really, at least on the surface. And then when the actual novel started, is when, oh, here's where all of these characters from all these different like stories come into play. And they were all stories that, like, because like some of them I skipped over because I had read them before, or they were included in the other books,
Oh, so
or
they
the
weren't all
compendium.
new.
Yeah, so like they were just like side stories he had already done.
Hmm.
And they kind of came together, with the heavy implication that I should also be reading Ravnor,
Hmm.
which is his other character that it's a spin-off of Eisenhorn. It's like his protege.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's like this book was like it was just okay. I don't think it hit as well as the other ones.
Hmm.
I think it was better structured and well, it's kind of funny, right? I feel like I enjoyed the other books together. Like, I don't know, there's something about this one that I wasn't a big fan of, except it goes into who Eisenhorn is as a character
Mm-hmm.
and who the Imperium of Mankind is as an entity,
Oh,
and how
cool.
maybe they're not like the best things, or like they claim to be this most pious thing, but they're basically at the night they were like, yo, let's be real, like they're kind of assholes, and like, you know, they say that they're the good guys, but really they say crazy shit like the ends justify the means,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that's it. But that it's like other than that, like it's all right. Like I guess if you're listening to this and you liked the other books, and you're curious as to the fates of some of the characters, then this is a good one. But it also doesn't mean any end for Eisenhorn at the current moment. I mean, for all I know, there could have been something in Ravnor that I didn't see, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's cool. And then since we used all of our time mostly on other stuff, I'll just give my short review on Resident Evil 4. It's a 10 out of 10. It's a banger.
Yeah.
It's probably, if nothing else comes out this year, I doubt it though. I doubt anything else is gonna come out this year is gonna make me say it's like my game of the year or anything, because this game is like really good.
Mm-hmm.
Every feature that you could possibly think of, down to like the smallest minute detail, has been changed, from the knife and shooting combats or combat mechanics to navigation, how Leon controls everything. It's tighter. The way the enemies are structured, there's more variety in Plagas and other enemy types. Uh, Parts that, even though I liked the original game, there are a decent amount of parts where like I groaned because I'm like, oh my god, like I just want to get through this part, and then I can just play the rest of the game, right? Like, or
Mm-hmm.
even most of the island. Like, to be honest, I didn't like most of the island, which is the end of the game. And this is not a spoiler for anybody because the game is 15 years old. I don't want to hear it. But the end of the game, it takes place on an island, And honestly, like most of that that gameplay is really lame, and I didn't like it. But I would say every part that has been redone has made me go, "Oh, that was actually pretty cool. I like how they did that." Even I think my least favorite part in the entire game was the hedge maze, and I was like, "Dang, this is actually not a bad section. Like,
Hmm.
it's not like at all." Because the dogs had a lot of health, but like a lot of the enemies, and everything have kind of been retooled to make it seem a little better. Like, they seem a lot more manageable than the
Hmm.
original, if that makes sense. Like, it not making them easy, just manageable.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But yeah, like it's all good. I don't think Ashley's good though. They said that they redid Ashley's thing, and I think she doesn't get got as easy. I think I don't know. I still think she sucks. I still think like her AI and how she follows and controls and does things is just not good at all.
That's very fair.
Yeah, I really wish that they figured out a way to like make her better. Like they did adjust how you can control her ish. Like you can give her basically a binary command of you can either follow close or you can hang back. And they're supposed to be for, different situations of like, oh, we're about to go into this room, like hang back so you don't get fucked, right? Or stay close to me so as you're running she can stick close to you. But that one, like that, it's fucked up because that's how they advertise it, and that's how you're supposed to play it. But she gets stranded off so much while you're running. Like if you're trying to blitz through it, she falls off. So because I was playing on hardcore, and holy shit, this fucking game is hard.
Yeah, I know.
So
Yeah, I
hard.
remember talking to you while you were playing, and you were like, "Wow, I am actually struggling."
There's one section that like a lot the story is basically B for B, even including a lot of uh the regular parts, I should say. And when I mean the regular parts, I mean um like Ashley's stuff and like, oh, you fight a room with like two Garradors and shit. And I say that two Garradors because there is another room where you fight two Garradors and they're a blind enemy that have Wolverine claws. And when I tell you it was probably the hardest thing I've ever had to do in a game, I'm not lying.
Whoa.
I and it's kind of funny because Aiden's like I didn't really have a problem with it, right?
Of course
That's
you
always
did.
how it is, though.
But there were parts where he watched me play and he's like, I don't understand how you got through this in one shot. Or like he's like Kraus, he literally told me verbatim, this is his quote. He's like, Tyler, you're gonna fucking scream when you get to Krauser. He's like, this is literally a Dark Souls boss. I beat him on the second try.
Damn. Okay
Literally
then.
aced him on the second try. Like I died more to his like leading up to that fight than actually fighting him. And
Damn.
I also beat Sadler, the last boss, I think on the second or third try. He's like, I can't tell you how many times I died to Sadler.
Damn.
Well, I died on the Garradors like 1,000 times, so like it was so bad. I think it took me over the course of 3 sessions, like sit downs to kill the Garradors.
Jeez.
It was bad. I think, and then the part before that, he watched me play it with a bunch of Novisadors. They're like these flying bug creatures. They just would not stop spawning, and I was like, oh, just let me kill all of them because they're easy. Not that easy apparently, because when they throw literally 100 at you and they don't stop spawning, he's like, I could have swore they stopped spawning for me. I was like, well, they're not.
So you're just stuck there fighting them?
Yeah, I was stuck there fighting them. And I was like, okay, I'm forced to run, and so that's the fucked up part. I had to run, and kill what was necessary, and then I got to the next part with the Gyarados. I went into that fight with like a quarter health, no healing items, and they hit you for, I think I was at like 3/4 to max health, which is a lot for that area, I think.
Oof.
Like you had to get like every max health item up to that point, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And they were doing half my health bar.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so like one hit, and then what's worse is if you get unlucky, they can combo you.
Oh.
So they hit you twice down, and this game at least gives you some sort of saving grace. Like if you get hit, and you have like if you have like say like a quarter health and you get hit, and that hit's supposed to kill you, it'll bring you down to 1 instead of outright killing you.
Oh wow.
So that's cool, but then it's like, okay, but what's worse is when you're down there, they give you old Resident Evil rules where you start like shuffling, your movement speed isn't as quick as if you were healthy. And what I learned about these like they upgraded so many things. I could get into like all the minute details, but I'll be here all night. I could tell you guys like off like when we get off of here or show you.
Mm-hmm.
But they fucking react to sound, and because you're shuffling so much, they hear you.
Oh.
Well, because you're hurt. I'm like, fuck this. Like I'm so angry. Like I did that part so many times, and then I don't think I ever struggled after that. Like after that part, it was not, I wouldn't say smooth sailing, but it was pretty good. So yeah, that's my review.
Nice.
It's 10 out of 10.
Hell yeah.
If you haven't played, shoot Tim, I would recommend you play this game.
Oh, I mean, I
Do
would
you
play
recommend
this.
play it over the original?
Oh, of course.
I would play this because I've talked about this before. I've tried to play the original, but ever since I played Dead Space, I can't go back to a game like that where I can't move while I'm shooting.
You can move and shoot.
No, in the original RE4.
Oh, but this
No,
one.
that's what I'm literally saying, Tyler, is
Yeah.
I would play this now because I can actually have control over
Oh,
my
I get what you're
character.
saying. Yeah.
I can't,
Oh.
like...
All I'm thinking of is that one Ego Raptor sequelitis video where he's like, "I'm moving and shooting." That's all I can think of when you're describing your problem with Resident Evil 4.
You
It's
mean
not
the
even a
only
problem,
good
but, like-
sequelitis video.
Damn.
Yeah,
That's true. I was really hoping for more good content like that.
Dude.
You never.
All right, I hate to derail us, but like, fuck Game Grumps. I hate what it did.
Jeez.
I mean, he's not wrong.
No, I believe it, but, like...
I missed the old Ego Raptor.
Oh, yeah, we never talked about JonTron's video that came out recently where he did the AI chat thing.
Oh god.
That was
I watched
funny.
I watched the
Or no,
dating
the
show on
dating
that
video,
one. That
dating
one was
video,
difficult.
dating video.
Yeah,
Dating
dating
video was really funny. That shit's Anyway, the last thing I wanted to cover is we usually talk about the start of the anime season. Obviously this is not nearly the let's give a review of what we're watching, but every show except for 2 I've seen the first episode of. We haven't seen Witch from Mercury, which we might watch after this. Might not. It might be too late. And then the Ranking of Kings side story compilation thing hasn't started until Thursday.
And then the show that I'm going to try and trick everyone into watching, Oshi no Ko. I think it airs tomorrow, with its 90-minute first episode.
Jeez, even that's double. Oh my god.
It's a full movie for episode 1. I'm so excited.
So we're just gonna blow through everything else that started. 2 weeks. So for the past month, we have also not been able to successfully do D&D. 2 weeks ago, 2 Sundays ago, Leslie and Luigi. That was when you were skiing.
2 weeks ago, I was on the
So
ski trip, I think.
Leslie and Tyler left early after the rest of us were hanging out, and Luigi's like, "What anime could we start together?" And I was like, "Oh, well, this random show, Hell's Paradise, is the only show on Mal in the top 4 for the season that I'm not planning to watch, with Tonikawa, Dr. Stone, and Demon Slayer. The first episode just came out. I see it's getting a lot of upvotes on Reddit. Why don't we just try it?" And this is a really cool concept for a show. So we watched the first episode with Luigi. Me and Val watched the second, and then Friedman's here early this past Sunday, and we're like, "Friedman, want to watch the first episode of Hell's Paradise?"
Yeah, I was gonna watch it either way, so I was good. I actually sat down to do it.
This is one of those shows that I would almost even say is like a cool enough concept that Tyler might even be interested in it.
Put it this way, it's not high school in Japan.
No, it is not a
Oh,
high
God.
school in Japan, which is automatically a plus. But no, it's a pretty interesting concept. I don't want to spoil it because it's really in the first episode you get the whole thing. But it's another Mappa show. It's like their 20th show they're in development on right now. But the animation is stellar so far. The fight scenes have been brutal as hell. Freeman, did you get to watch episode 2 or no?
I did not. I've not had a chance to watch that much anime. I'm
Both
trying to close
episodes-
out the older shows before I start new ones.
Both episodes have had some pretty brutal fights, especially episode 2 has some like R-rated gore level fights for anime. I don't even want to say it. As much as I want to tempt Tyler to watch the show, I want you to see it, Friedman, before I talk about it. So the premise is really cool. Freeman, you saw the whole thing with the flower, like this paradise flower poison thing going on.
Yeah.
That's really fascinating. So that's exciting. Demon Slayer is back. Tyler, don't forget you have to watch it before Sunday because it's going to be our group Sunday show.
Wait, Demon Slayer? What?
Demon Slayer started again.
Cheap export Japan,
Hey,
baby.
really? Oh shit!
Yeah, that's what we did on Sunday when you and Luigi weren't there. The four of us watched the first episode.
I don't want to watch this show with you guys. The fuck?
What?
What?
All right,
I'm
memes
so hurt.
aside,
Sounded really
memes
hurt.
aside,
I
first
was
episode
hurt.
Was double length, and it was very well animated. Wouldn't have paid to see it in theaters though, but it was still
Yeah,
very good.
I not gonna lie, it's a good thing Val and I didn't go see this in theaters, but yeah, Demon Slayer starting off strong. The intro seems to imply that 2 of the 3 main cast are not here, so that's interesting. We're gonna have a different dynamic going on for this season, which seems cool. So yeah, obviously Demon Slayer, everyone's hyped for that. Dr. Stone also came back. Freeman, have you seen the episode?
Really?
No, I had to watch the special with my friend group last.
Oh, you're right.
Saturday to catch
This is the
that,
third
so-
time I've brought this up, and I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Um,
no problem.
They literally acknowledge that this show is Minecraft now.
Oh,
Like
there-
they have an actual Minecraft sequence.
There is literally a sequence where you're like, "This is Minecraft."
Hell
They are
yeah.
showing
This
that
is
they are in a game of
Minecraft?
Minecraft. It is not even subtle, and it's really funny. Yeah, I learned about oh god, what was the thing in this episode?
What, like you learned an actual scientific thing from this?
Oh, I learned about land surveying in this episode. Yeah, so that's cool because
Learned
that's what
about
we're doing
land
now. Oh, and agriculture. Yeah, we learned about how agriculture works because, of course, now that we're a growing society, we need to cultivate land. So
All right,
That's
good thing to
good.
know that when society collapses, my Blu-ray copy of Dr. Stone will be pivotal in the rebuilding of humanity.
yeah, so Dr. Stone is more good Dr. Stone. So that's great. Animation
That's
seems a
all you-
little weird. There's a few moments where you're like, even for the giant forehead meme, these people are a little off model right now. So that's a
I mean,
little
the-
disconcerting, but
This illustrator's models are just terrible. In
no,
general,
Freeman, I
but-
know. That's why I said, even for how weird the characters look by default, there are moments where you're like, that person looks like they didn't have as much budget put into them. And then we get to the literal diabetes induction machine that is Tonikawa.
that's also coming. Damn, there's hella shit coming out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what
this is a big season.
this is a big season. I thought we talked about this.
You probably did, but I definitely was not paying attention because I'm a bastard.
Tonikawa is in fact built on a mountain of sugar. They once again, like, they go out of their way to start the season with just pure injected wholesome sweetness moments. It's not even most of the episode, but they sure start off and they sure know how to remind you why you watch Tonikawa. So yeah, that's also, I said this to Val, and I think I told you this, Freeman. The opening is the funniest fucking thing in the world. Tyler, I know
because it plays into the is she from the moon? Is she
Tyler,
a
the
star?
entire... Okay, so let's just say this. The opening is a banger. It doesn't slap quite as hard as that big drop from the first opening, but the overall song is still really good. Tyler, the entire... Okay, not the entire. 75% of this opening is clips of her clearly in, like, ancient Japanese settings, or, like, traveling through time, basically, with shots of the moon in the background.
Oh Jesus!
Well, like, there's
Christ.
also a part where she's seeing like the Apollo rocket launch, and I don't want to
Yes.
see like a euphemism for her husband versus like she was there when it launched. Like,
It's Honestly, it cracks me up to watch it. I'm listening to the banger song and I'm just laughing because I'm like, they know this is the meme and they're playing into it so hard. It just cracks me up. Tony Kawa's good.
It just cracks you up.
Yes. And then the show I bullied Val into watching. Freeman, I think you heard this story from Val. Tyler, This is one of the funniest things ever. So Freeman talked about the show Mashal as One Punch Man Hogwarts. And that's what it is.
One Punch Man goes to Hogwarts is the gimmick.
Saitama, not someone else. Saitama goes to Hogwarts. Like literally. Like a guy who is oh my god, it's funny. But I told Val about this show and she's like, I don't want to watch that. And then over the weekend, the first episode came out and I put it on. And she's like, fine, I'll give this one episode.
Oh, good lord.
And we finished the episode and I'm laughing the whole time and it's dumb. And we get to the end and Val's like, I'll give it 3 episodes.
Damn. Damn. You hate to see it.
It has such a dumb concept. It's another case of the main character is so strong that he can just defeat magic, I guess, because muscles beat magic, I guess.
Rock beats scissor.
I'm sure there's going to be some dumb lore reason for this, but like... also the ending is one of the funniest songs in the entire world. They immediately establish that the main character likes cream puffs, and the ending song is literally about making cream puffs. Like I'm not saying the animation, the lyrics are about the creaminess of cream puffs. It is so fucking funny. You know, Freeman, you know this especially because you go on RE Anime. The ending song got as many upvotes as episode 1. I
saw the ending and I was very confused about what I was watching.
Yes, because you were like, how is an ending for a show getting this many upvotes and the opening isn't? That's your answer. It's a giant meme about cream puffs and it's hilarious.
Oh my.
So this show's hilarious. I can't wait to keep watching more Mashal. It's really fun. I did not watch the other 2 shows that you were talking about though, Freeman.
You definitely watched one of the other shows.
Am I stupid?
That's coming up here after Mashal.
Oh, I put Explosion Girl on here. But I'll let you talk about it, Freeman.
God, do I still have the sound effect for this? Hold on one second. I'm looking. It's been so long since I've gone through the soundboard here that I don't have the Megumin explosion sound anymore. This is ridiculous. Anyway, the Megumin spinoff finally happened. We got episode 1 is out now. And it's everything I could have asked for and more.
Yeah.
Every single character is just cringe as fuck, and I'm enjoying it. Like this. The whole gimmick is, Megumin is a Chunibyo character, but she's in a village of other Chunibyo characters. We got a glimpse of her in the movie, but her whole class is essentially the main cast of this, and just everything everyone does or says is just like they're all trying to one up each other in terms of coolness. The gym teacher, he's like, welcome to combat training, formerly known as gym class.
Yes, it was. Oh man, that cracked me up.
All of the jokes are very tongue in cheek. I love the delivery from episode 1.
Yeah, my only worry is about making the joke last. Or, like, the show's going to have to transition to not just be these. But for episode 1, it was really funny. Like, when they're introducing the rest of her class and the one character who already has an eye patch exactly like the Chunibyo girl, and, like, future Megumin, the fact that she immediately starts responding to everything every other character says, going, yes, that is very cool. Like... cracked me up. She's hilarious. Her reactions of like playing into the bit basically is really funny.
Yeah, I'm really glad they're expanding on what she is other than just a person standing in the room. Like even Union goes up and talks to Megumin and says like, I want to defeat you. And she's like, wow, bold move. Your first sentence you say to this person is declaring yourself their rival. Very nice. And I'm just
that was really funny.
Yeah, so enjoying this a lot. It'll hold us over until we get the next season of Konosuba, but I'm just happy to see more.
I need Konosuba like air, dude.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, what?
I know, Tyler, but look, these days it's so rare for you to be like, yo, anime, please come back. That's why
because Tyler only likes good anime and Konosuba's a good anime.
Yeah, I mean, big
wow, we're throwing a lot of words around right now, and it's.
Look, I'll be
I mean, he's not wrong.
I like Konosuba too.
I'll be the first to admit that most anime is shit, and that's a perfect transition into the last
Like,
show I'm going to talk
no,
about.
hold on.
Here.
Tim, you were not in the theater when we were all
Tyler,
crying laughing.
Tyler, I have
You
said
weren't there, Tim.
you're
And he's gonna keep
trying to
reminding me
hurt
that you
me,
weren't
and it's
there.
working.
You're trying to hurt me, and it's working.
This is mean spirited. I have said so many times how bad I wish I could have been the fourth boy laughing at that fucking scene in that movie theater.
Oh man.
Oh god, if I had a time machine, that would be one of my top 5 moments to time travel back to experience. Is the boys laughing at that fucking joke in the Konosuba movie?
You make me feel it down there.
Because there is some... No, I thought it was why am
What
I
was
feeling
it?
something down there?
Oh, yeah, why am I
because there is something.
Anyway, I was gonna say Kazuma is the narrator for like the first minute of episode 1.
Yes,
I'm hoping
so-
they keep bringing him back as the narrator.
That was so that was really funny to me, and I immediately turned to Val and I was like, "Holy shit, Kazuma's narrating this. That means it's basically canon. That's really funny."
Yeah, but anyway, sorry. So saying not all anime is good is the transition into the last one I want to talk about.
But hold on, let's back that up for a second, because you say so much of it's bad. I would argue that we just named all shows that are sequels that we're excited for, or shows that are starting off strong.
That's correct. Because
I haven't watched anything
We only
bad.
talked about the cream of the crop from the season. We haven't talked about
The
any
cream of the
shit
crop.
shows
This
because
is
none of
like
us are watching
7 TV shows to watch in a week.
Do you know how many shows are airing this season?
Do you know how many shows how much none of them compared to Vinland Saga, so it doesn't matter?
There are 108
I mean,
shows airing this season.
I knew I could bait Tyler out. That okay, yes, percentage-wise, most anime is garbage, but I also knew I'd get Tyler to come out and say something if I brought up Vinland Saga, absolutely crushing everything else around it right now. Tyler, let me tell you what I tweeted last night after we watched the last episode. I think you'll agree with this. Oh god, I have to scroll. What did I tweet? Go to my account. Hurry. Vinland Saga is definitely one of the only shows in a very long time that absolutely definitively refuses to miss.
Big facts.
Like, all these shows are great that are coming out, but Vinland Saga is continuing, so it's like, that's the anchor for the week anyway. Did you watch yesterday's, Tyler?
I did. Actually, I watched it today.
Hell
I did
yeah.
too.
Oh, yeah, Freeman watched it literally before the podcast. Anyway, Freeman, fine. Go talk about mid-shows while we
All right,
bask in the glory.
So, no, this is another one that we all dropped. So we were hanging out with Luigi, and he was like, "Guys, you gotta watch."
Oh my
this
God, yes!
This mega wholesome anime that I've been loving called "Kicked Out of the Demon King's Army." So now I'm chilling in my
Neptune.
30s.
Oh my
or some
god,
shit.
this was so funny.
Yeah. Luigi, if you A, listen to our podcast, and B, listen all the way to the end of the episode, I'm sorry, we're about to just shit on your favorite show. But we watched episode 1, and like it's hilarious. Luigi had the same moment I had when I was showing random shows to Val, where I'm like, there's no fan service. Then I'm watching Val, I'm just like, oh good lord, there's a lot of fan service in the show that I just didn't register. Luigi's out here telling us the most wholesome show possible. The main girl, like, every shot where she enters starts with a zoom in on her cleavage and then pans up to her face. You can't make this shit up. And Luigi went through the same moment that I did, where he's like, "Oh, good lord, there is a lot of fan service. This is a lot of smut."
But then we even gave it a second episode, didn't we? Or no, we only watched one. I can't even remember.
I only gave it one episode and said I don't have time for this right now.
Oh my god, that was and then he messaged us all later when because that was before the finale had happened, because that was a show that was ending last season.
Yeah.
And he messaged all of us and was like, "Guys, you ruined the show for me. I don't. The ending sucks. No, we did watch 2.
We did watch it.
two.
We
We
gave
watched
it
the second
2
episode?
episodes.
Yeah, we gave it 2, Freeman, because I have 2 on my. It's one of the only shows on my dropped list, and I have 2 episodes watched.
I've started finding that like shows, if I just watch a couple in a batch and I don't like it, I just don't even throw it on the list.
Oh no, I gotta track that number accurately.
Nah, I hate my drop list. It's a number of shame.
Man, this show was not very good at all. The animation was pretty shitty. Like, the fan service was really egregious, and honestly, the plot was not that interesting. Like, other than the concept of like, ooh, you got kicked out of the army, and then they were already building up actually, he was the most important member of the army in the entire military of the demons, and it's like,
You mean my underpowered protagonist was actually the overpowered
my
protagonist
God,
all along?
They didn't even pretend that he wasn't going to be the most overpowered person in the entire world. They didn't even pretend.
Sorry, Luigi, it wasn't good, man.
It hurt to watch him experience that we weren't liking it live in person.
Look, I felt for him, but at the same time, us all laughing our asses off about how this show was not good, and him being like, no, guys, I promise it's pretty good. And then it's like, as he says that, boom, cleavage shot.
I swear. Oh.
Guys, I promise it's not. Okay, now, no, wait. Give it one more. No, wait, they did it again.
Just ignore the panty shot. It's a wholesome scene.
Oh, my God. Yes, because isn't the shot like the first shot of the show? Wasn't it like within 2 minutes?
She jumps over him,
and they show it, and we all laughed.
That's her character introduction, yeah.
And Luigi was like, "No, that's the only one." And then every 30 seconds, he was proven wrong.
Felt so bad, but that's what it was.
Oh God, that was such a. That's one of those moments that's like, yeah, the show was terrible, but we all got a great moment out of that show.
Big facts. So.
All right, that was it. We covered everything on the list for this week.
Yeah, so for next time, so we finally cleared out the season. That My Hero was the last holdout for the last anime season until we finally finish Uncle Freeman and Bofuri ends. And Bofuri ends. That needs to end as well.
I'm so behind on Bofuri. I think I'm up to the one you guys like, episode 8. I think I'm up to that one now.
Oh God, maybe we'll watch that on fucking. No, you watch it as your lunch show. I know.
I don't watch it as I haven't been able to watch a show during lunch in like 3 weeks now. I've been so busy.
Creepers. As always.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
no, I was just gonna say, as always, our watched and played turned into over half of the podcast.
God damn, we got to really tighten this up and not
We've
argue
been
about.
saying
To be fair,
this
hold on.
To
be fair, like 30 minutes of that, like 25 minutes of that was us arguing about whether or not the character in the D&D movie was a bard. So
I've done some background research. I will concede he is a bard. I just don't agree with the director's assessment of how they should portray him.
I will not respond because I know for a fact we will keep going about this. So until the next D&D related argument, thank you all so much for listening. My name is Timpedia.
I'm Friedman.
Just Tyler.
We'll catch you guys next time. Oh, go ahead.
The soldier.
No, I'm done. We're done. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for listening.